Right, well, hello everyone. We'll be fully around tonight. Yeah, my name is Dr. Caroline Taylor-Walker, and obviously I'm the doctor here at Ministry of Skin. So look, the whole reason that I set up the clinic and the whole ethos behind it is, even though we specialise in the skin, we really want to look at that from like the inside as well as the outside. A lot of times, the skin, as we know, the skin is a reflection of really what's going on the inside. If like we've just been talking about children, if you've got a child, if they get up in the morning, as soon as they walk in the room, you can tell almost instantly whether they're tired, sick, happy, grumpy, well, just by looking at their face, what their skin looks like. You can see in their skin, like the colour, any kind of spots and things, dark eyes, like the quality of the skin. It really does reflect what's going on there. We feel here, people coming in with skin issues, if we're just looking at the skin topically and giving them some skin pills and skincare, we can kind of improve it, but we're not really working on what's actually going on underneath the body. So we do really want to focus on what's going on underneath and try and work on the causes as well as what's going on top of the skin. So with that, that's where Melm really comes in. So it's something that medically, but the issue is a lot of stuff medically with the skin is very much band-aid. And I suppose I found doing medicine being quite disappointed in it, really. Not going anywhere. We've like struggled, been quite disappointed with medicine generally, because I've kind of found out a lot of stuff in medicine. You have little symptoms, we'll ignore. Once you get an actual problem, we'll just give you medication to get rid of the symptoms, but we're not really dealing with what's going on underneath. So I've done a lot of work myself in that area, but it's quite difficult to implement within medicine and even in regards to time and cost. But that's basically what Melm specialises in. So it's really looking at how the body's functioning and supporting that. So we kind of heal up what's going on inside. But I'm not saying too much because I don't want to say at all. But so that's where Melm comes in, to kind of give people that aspect in treating the skin from the inside out, and just working together. So you've got the benefit of both parties working on that. So I won't say too much more because I don't want to end up just chatting. So I'll hand you over to Melm. And Mel's going to go over a little bit about her side and internal aspects of the skin, and then afterwards we'll have a bit of a question and answer session, so we can cover things that you might have questions on yourself, or anything you might have missed, or you can understand, and take it from there.
Great, thank you. And I love the first conversation we ever had was really about the medical system and how you really loved functional medicine and always wanted to get to the root cause of what was going on for people, but in the system that you're in, I guess you struggled to do that. You weren't able to do that. Yeah, but you were the first GP that I spoke to. I was like, yes, we're on the same page. So I'm excited to work here, and I've always wanted to work in an integrative clinic, and so now I am, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so we're going to talk about skin and how we can heal skin internally, and what sort of things we can do for that. So when we're talking about skin rash, I've got skin rashes, but it's really any kind of skin condition. So these are all the potential root causes. So we've got unmanaged stress, hormone imbalances, mitochondrial dysfunction, drug reactions, thyroid dysfunction, trauma, liver detox challenges, gut dysfunction, autoimmunity, nutritional deficiencies, environmental allergies, microbiome dysbiosis, diet and food reactions, genes, environmental toxins. So it's like a lot. So when people come in, there's not really a clear, yes, this is a reason why you've got whatever you've got going on with your skin. So where do we go from here? Normally when people come to me with some sort of skin issue, I always address the diet first, making sure they're eating an anti-inflammatory diet, clean their diet right up, because sometimes it can be that simple, not often, but sometimes. So I make sure that we do clean the diet up, so that's no gluten, no dairy, an anti-inflammatory diet, lots of omega-3 fatty acids, and I'll go into diet a bit more later on. And then address their lifestyle as well, what sort of lifestyle they're leading, how we can clean their lifestyle up so that isn't contributing to the cause of their skin condition. Always give them some supplements. And if that's not working, then we need to investigate with functional testing. And that's, I guess, what I specialise in. I've done extra training in the US on functional diagnostic testing to get to the root cause of what is going on for people. So I normally look at the gut first, because if we start looking at hormones or something else and there's something going on in the gut, they're not going to be completely healthy or be able to heal if there's still something going on with the gut. So we'll look at the gut first and make sure that's all clear of infections and dysbiosis, and then move on to hormones and liver. And then if things don't clear up, look at heavy metals and then food sensitivities. So talking about hormone imbalances first, they can trigger skin conditions from hormones such as testosterone, insulin like growth factor and insulin. If estrogen detox pathways are insufficient, this can also lead to skin conditions. Testosterone androgenic pathways can contribute to imbalances. Cortisol, when under stress, cortisol is made at the expense of progesterone, throwing the estrogen and progesterone off balance. And then stress, increased cortisol, also causes increased inflammation and oxidative stress. So I'm going to go over a couple of case studies. I used the Dutch test for comprehensive hormone testing. So that's a dry urine test for comprehensive hormones. And it looks complicated. Basically, I get people to pee on some strips for 24 hours, and it measures the level of their hormones, but also the pathways they go down. So it's a map of what people's hormones are doing. It's amazing. We get a lot of great information. So this person, Kate, she came in with cystic acne, among other things, but we're focusing on the skin conditions today. So I ran the Dutch on her, and her main issue was here. This is the testosterone androgenic pathway. This is the preferred pathway. We want the testosterone to be going down, but hers was going down this androgenic pathway, which is where you get male-like characteristics, which is where you can get cystic acne, hair falling out, acne on your back, things like that. So that was her main problem there. So to treat that, I gave her some zinc supplements, made sure that her insulin levels were really dialed in, her blood sugar regulation was stable, and that pretty much corrected that. You can also see over here another issue for her was this is, there's 3 different types of estrogen, but her main estrogen, estradiol, was off the radar, and she wasn't detoxing. So phase 1 detoxification for estrogen was not working properly, and then phase 2 wasn't working properly either. So that means that her estrogen was cycling back through her system, and the toxins have to get out. But her liver wasn't doing that job properly, so it was purging through her skin as well. Okay. All right, this was another case study. Anna, she had psoriasis, mainly on her elbows and in her scalp, really itchy, and she thought that she had premature aging. So I ran the Dutch on her, and you can see here we looked at estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. Her estrogen was off the scale as well. It's meant to be in between these yellow stars here for a premenopausal lady. This is postmenopausal, the purple, and hers was right around here, so very elevated, and her progesterone was dropping out, so she's got very low progesterone. So that balance of estrogen to progesterone was really out. Part of the Dutch test, we also look at the cortisol pattern. So her cortisol was good actually a bit low in the morning, so she was waking up feeling tired because she didn't have enough cortisol. It was okay mid-morning, but then she would drop out mid-afternoon, and that's where she was getting really tired and reaching for sugar and chocolate and things like that in the afternoon and coffee to keep her awake. And then at night, she got a second wind, and she was kind of wired and running around doing housework and feeling really good. So we always want to correct this cortisol pattern too, because that can throw our blood sugar off and it can increase inflammation. this is still her. So her estradiol, again, was elevated. And another type of estrogen, that estrone, which is the fat cells making estrogen. So she had two lots of strong estrogens, very elevated, and she wasn't getting that estrogen out of her body either. Phase 1, liver detoxification was not working properly, and either was phase 2. So again, she had that estrogen cycling back around, becoming toxic. So this was part of her condition. Lucy, she had weight resistance, dull skin and fatigue. So looking at the first page of the Dutch, we were looking at the cortisol pattern, and you can see her cortisol is hardly elevated at all. And over here, her body just basically wasn't making much cortisol at all. So at one period of her life, she would have had really high cortisol, but you can't sustain high cortisol for a long period of time. So now her cortisol has dropped down because her body can't sustain being under that amount of stress for a long time. So now she's got really low cortisol, and that's where you get weight resistance, fatigue, and she's just not looking healthy because she's not functioning well. So another major contributor of skin health is toxic overload. A build-up of toxins in the liver can manifest as skin imperfections. The liver is one of our main pathways for the elimination of toxins, mutated hormones and drugs. So phase 1 liver makes things water soluble. Phase 2 packages them up and helps us carry them to the next phase, which is the gut. And then that's a transporter to help us excrete them out of our system. If any of those phases aren't working properly, they're going to recycle back through our system. Your body will make every effort to purge toxins, hormones through other ways if the liver is not functioning adequately, such as pores, and then you get skin conditions. We've got the liver and then the gallbladder that produces bile, and then that will break down fat. If that system is not working well, fat can circulate in the bloodstream and ends up getting used by those sebaceous glands instead, and that's also stressful on the skin. And then we have genetics with the liver as well. So if people are like, isn't my liver working properly? And it can be a toxic overload, it can be your environmental exposure, but it also can be these two genetic variations, MT and HFR. Anybody heard of those? Yeah, have you? Yeah. Yeah. It's common. It's really common.
Did she have one I picked?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically all our livers need help in some way. And then you've got COMT, which slows down phase 2 liver detox. So if you've got these variations, you're going to need help. You're going to have to lead a clean lifestyle. You're not going to be one of those people that can go and have a few drinks and be fine. So we need to support that normally with supplements. And then we've got our environmental exposure as well. This is the last page of the Dutch. I just wanted to show you to get the full picture of what a Dutch test would look like. So we measured B12 and B6 as well, and glutathione. So glutathione is like the master antioxidant in the body. This was the psoriasis patient actually. So the top 3 are inverted, which means if they're high, it means they're deficient. So she was deficient in B12 and her glutathione was really, really low. So if she didn't have enough antioxidant in her body, she wasn't able to fight free radicals, and so there's more DNA damage and oxidative stress being able to happen. And then we look at neurotransmitters, melatonin, and the oxidative stress. Glutathione. So it has powerful anti-aging benefits. It drops off after menopause, which may be part of the reason for dramatic aging that can occur at this time. So this was the lady that thought that she had premature aging and her glutathione was really, really low. Glutathione helps heal the gut, prevents free radicals which contribute to wear and tear in the body as well as wrinkles, and decreases inflammation in the body. And then we look at the gut, so the gut link to skin health. Leaky gut or a permeable intestinal lining is where particles get through into the blood that shouldn't get through, that cause an inflammatory immune response, which leads inflammation to cause skin problems. Stress, toxins, medications, allergies, alcohol, pesticides and infections all contribute to leaky gut. Studies have shown that both stress and gut inflammation can impair the integrity and protective function of the epidermal barrier, the outer skin layer. An altered gut microbiome is linked with acne, rosacea, eczema and psoriasis. You are what you eat, but more importantly, you are what you absorb as well. So if there's any kind of infection or dysbiosis going on in your gut, you're not absorbing the nutrients like you should be absorbing. And that can contribute to low hydrochloric acid and low digestive enzymes. The skin is a reflection of what is happening in the gut. There is a strong connection and relationship between the skin and the gut. A healthy gut will even synthesize extra vitamins and minerals that benefit your skin, such as B vitamins. So this is another functional test I do. It's a comprehensive gut test called the GI map. This was a girl, Isla, 5 years old, and she had eczema. So we ran a gut test on her, and the main things that we found were her secretory IgA was really elevated, so there was an immune response happening, an upregulated immune system. Her anti-glutein here was really elevated, which means she was reacting to gluten. So in further investigation, I sent her off for bloods to see if she had celiac disease. Yeah, so there's definitely gut inflammation happening for her, which is where the eczema came in. So we healed her gut and the eczema went away. This is the rest of what that test looks like. So it tests for parasites, worms, opportunistic bacteria, fungi and yeast. So this same patient, she didn't really have many other infections. I mean, she had a few bacteria, but that's pretty good in comparison to what I see normally. So it's really that the gluten that she was having was the cause of her eczema. And this is just another client. I just wanted to show you that it can come back with a lot of other pathogens. So this person had all these different types of bacteria, candida, and then 2 parasites as well. So she had eczema on her hands. She was an older lady, dry patches, hormonal chaos, and digestive discomfort. So we cleared up, treated the infections, healed the gut, and most of those symptoms went away. So gut-related things that can pop up are parasites, bacteria overgrowth, candida and other fungus, worms, dysbiosis, low hydrochloric acid, and high histamine as well increases due to dysbiosis. So tips to walk away with today are we always want to find the root cause, eat an anti-inflammatory diet, eat real whole foods, avoid sugar, processed food, dairy, gluten, and limit coffee. Drink filtered water. We have pathogens in our water if it's not filtered, and pesticides and toxins. So I really encourage everyone to have a good filter. Increase your omega-3 fatty acids. Fatty fish, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, and green leafy veggies are great. Increase your cruciferous veggies to help detoxification as well. So that's your broccoli, cauli, bok choy, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. High antioxidant foods such as your colourful fruits and veggies, turmeric, green tea and matcha. Exercise and sweat regularly. Live a low tox life. Dry brush. Remember that dry brushing? Yeah, so just before you get in the shower, making sure that you brush always towards your heart and up towards your heart, and that helps move your lymphatic system around. The only way our lymphatic system can move is when we actually move, or by lymphatic massage or dry brushing. Consuming bone broth or collagen, eat bitter foods such as apple cider vinegar, artichokes, dandelion greens, dark chocolate, grapefruit, ginger, dill, kale, sesame seeds. Eating fermented foods, which really helps inoculate your gut, such as kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, or natto. That's unless you had a histamine problem. So if you had a histamine problem, I would recommend not eating fermented foods until we really healed the gut. Eat prebiotic foods as well, such as raw cooked onions, garlic, unripe bananas, leeks, and artichokes. And so as you can see, there's a lot there. It's not just somebody walking in and me being able to diagnose straight away with what is going on for them. And this is skin condition, but this is really any condition as well. There's a lot of investigation that really has to happen. So we've created this program called Inside Out Skin Health Program. And so you get a 1 hour consultation, 5 30-minute consultations every 2 weeks, so it'll go for 12 weeks. As part of that, you get a comprehensive case history, functional test results analysis, a nutrition plan specifically for you or the patient, reducing your toxic exposure. So we look at your skincare. I do a whole home analysis on people. I get them to bring in their cleaning products and their toiletries, and we go over it all. Their sleep hygiene, how they prepare for sleep, what exercise they do, supplements that would be great for them, and the stresses in their life as well. And we go into detail about what those stresses are as well. And that stress comes in so many different formats. It's not just emotional or physical. It can be electromagnetic. It can be dysbiosis. It can be infectious. It can be all those things. So when we think about all the stresses in our life that we have to combat on a daily basis, it's a lot. So we go through what our potential stresses are with the patient and how to try to mitigate those things as well. Yeah, so that's the Inside Out Skin program, and I think we're doing some excellent sessions with that tonight.
Yeah, with the program as well, you always get like a free consult with me, because often what happens, like Melm will see you and have that time with the hour to go over everything, but I can fully access some other blood tests on stuff, or sometimes when I have a look, I might add in some extra little bits as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's an extra consult with me that's there anyway, and then yeah, tonight we're saying if you get it as well, it's we'll offer a free consult with one of our nurses on kind of skin, on other stuff we do in the clinic, which we probably recommend doing at the end of the program, because we do find if the majority of people end up with gut issues, really, like that's why we should say the gut. If the gut's not sorted and the hormones are balanced, if we're starting to do stuff on the skin, it might work for like a week or two, but it comes back again. So you should recommend at the end of that, at the end of the program, maybe having a consult with the nurses. And then during the program as well, offering 3 sessions in our infrared sauna, as well as a general wellness overall thing as well, because that can help with a lot of different things actually. So thank you, Mel. It's yeah, it's hard because there's so much to like go through, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's yeah, it gives a really good kind of insight into it. Does anyone have any questions for Mel or that? I don't know what looking at now. Just thinking the questions like sitting that way for no reason. Or anyone on the webinar? Can they actually hear us?
Oh, no. There's been no complaints, so I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, do you explain it? It's sort of self-explanatory, but for me, I feel like it's quite hormonal at the moment. This is for obvious reasons. But a lot of those other things have probably not contributed. My skin has been the worst it's ever been since I've been pregnant. I've never had any issues.
Which means it'll be good after.
Well, I'm hoping, but it's really sporadic, and when it flares up, it's so like red and lumpy, and yeah, I've never had anything like it before, but it's just it comes and then it sort of comes. You've seen it like flare up even and then the next day it still goes down. It's like, but I'm guessing it's just all hormonal, and it's horrible.
So you didn't have that before you were pregnant?
No, yeah, I've never had any issues with skin before this pregnancy. It's like, I don't know what you're doing.
Hormones.
Yeah.
And if it continues afterwards,
I haven't changed anything that I'm using my skin, but I'm beginning to think, oh my god, what's going on? Like, it's so just lumpy, but not pimples. It's just just lumps. Yeah.
Sounds like congestion. It sounds like big liver, like as
Yeah.
well, but there's not much we can do with liver. So maybe some Epsom salt baths and
You're right. Yeah, I'm so tired by the end of the night. I don't even get energy to have a bath. It's like, it's terrible.
Yeah. Or even like some dry brushing.
Well, I do have a dry brush actually. I should use it.
Yeah. Lemon water in the morning, big glass of warm water with lemon.
And I've got issues with my thyroid as well. So post my last pregnancy, I've had thyroiditis. And so I've been on thyroxine since then. So it's been sort of up and down.
And your thyroid's been up and down.
Yeah, and I've been on thyroxine this pregnancy. Like, yeah, I wasn't on it last pregnancy. This pregnancy, quite a significant dose compared to before.
Yeah.
And it's stable since sort of after 12 weeks. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's probably contributing to it not helping.
No.
So
then we've got long to go.
look, I know. Maybe I'll just have this amazing skin after.
Or they'll take your amazing skin to the baby. Or I think the baby like takes a little bit of your beauty.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's beautiful, and they leave you with stuff.
Yeah.
They're rough afterwards. Yeah, pregnancy is hard, and it's hard because you can't treat a lot of this
Well,
stuff.
that's what I was saying. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
And I think like this is quite good because you can see there's a lot of stuff going on, and often you look at what were you like before? So like for like before pregnancy, where the issues no, then you've got to kind of think pregnancy is number one. If nothing else has changed, you know, if obviously your genes don't change, but if your environmental exposure hasn't changed, if you're more like like trauma hasn't changed, you're not on any new medications. But the other things can all be influenced by pregnancy.
Yes.
Can't they? And the thing is, you can't adjust them because that's normal, your normal pregnancy. But all of the other ones, like stress, can definitely, and stress isn't necessarily, oh, I've had a really busy day at work. It's even just being pregnant. That's the stress on your body.
absolutely.
That's what that baby is like taking everything from you. So even in pregnancy itself, the stress, people often think, oh, I'm not stressed because I like my job at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not working, or
But that's just a small element.
Yeah.
Massive things, and it's even maybe the worry of having 2 kids later, or like there's lots of underlying things going on. Recent travel, like working, your hormones are totally imbalanced. Nothing works as well. So mitochondria is your cells in your system. When you're pregnant, nothing just works to its ability because your body concentrates on making the baby and kind of shuts you down. You have got the thyroid, that can have massive issues. And when you take thyroid medication, I always think even if you do a blood test and your thyroid is stable, that's not necessarily according to your mood. Like thyroid is your metabolism, and it, like for example, if my thyroid's working well, if I'm sick or if I run a marathon, my thyroid then adjusts to enable me to deal with that.
Yeah.
When you're on thyroid medication, you don't get the adjustment. So even though your blood might be right, if you're run down, you might not be having enough.
Hands
And if you're
my thyroid going. It sounds funny because my hands get drier and drier.
Yeah.
I know that it's just starting to tip towards more
Yeah.
hypo. Like, and even with my bloods might be just the tiniest little bit, but I can tell because I start to get like this cracking just ever so slightly in my hands, and that's the first thing that happens.
Yeah, if you've got someone good looking after it, they'll like train you to kind of adjust your thyroid. Like my people, I have them, when they get easy, they just increase their dose.
Well, that's what they've told me. Like I can take a little bit more. Like I don't like I do adjust it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's funny that the hands, it's the first thing I notice. They start to get really dry, and no matter what I put on them, it's all
It's
internal.
Yeah.
And
I would probably add
yeah.
some sea veggies into your diet as well, like wakame and dog's flakes and nourish if they're high in iodine.
Okay.
And then the
So
others
just
like
notice them going
your liver, gut,
dry.
immunity, and nutritional deficiency, they're all just
Yeah.
even if you kind of test them, I think nutritional deficiencies, if we test you and they're normal,
Yeah.
that's potentially not enough for you when you're pregnant. And if you think the normal blood tests are actually tested on sick people who are probably deficient anyway, so it's like an average of what the lab sees just from sick people. So it's not tested on a pregnant person or age group who potentially probably needs to be more than normal than normal as especially if you take thyroid issues
Yeah.
and things going on. So, or having stress or like hormonal imbalances. There's skin issues in pregnancy, and it's really common.
Yeah. I would go Epsom salt baths, sea veggies, some apple cider vinegar in the morning, lemon water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dry brushing.
Oh, I can do all that.
Yeah.
Take the baby out.
Yeah.
Take the baby out. Although it is better when it's out.
Hopefully, I'm always.
It's great. Yeah.
I've got
It's really
stimulating.
stimulating. Yeah. And then just making sure your diet's like really dialed in.
I can probably tweak. It's not too bad. I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Tell us more about dry brushing and that. Is that like what brush do you recommend? Like how often do you recommend it? How would you?
Yeah, it's a whole scrub.
Yeah, it's normally like one of those brushes you find in the health food shop. It's got a wooden handle and it's got like bristles that are quite soft, and it's long so you can reach it back. But yeah, you start at the tips of your fingers and always go towards your heart, over your face, and then from your feet to your heart as well.
And how often would you do it?
Ideally every day, but nobody really does it every day. Kids anyway.
Well,
But
you have just
Your husband
can do it.
Your husband can
I'll be on the toilet.
If they had to dry brush and it was important to them, they would do it every day. I've got to dry brush, I can't help it.
If you do say to men, you have to dry brush and you have to do it every day, they will actually do it.
Yeah.
On the radio the other day, they were talking about it. And the radio host, he said, "Oh, my wife dry brushed me. She made me stand in the shower and she dry brushed me." And the other person's like, "Well, did you do it for her too?" He goes, "No, she did hers her own." So.
Yeah.
I think our own worst enemy sometimes as well. We just do it, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I've just been in the shower because I haven't got time. Just like doing it with my fingers, just in the shower. Yeah. It's just really just to move your lymphatic system.
I was just thinking, I haven't, when you're talking about skin, I have noticed occasionally, I don't know why, but every now and then I'll come out in these really big, and I don't have any real skin issues generally, but I'll get like these really random, huge, like, like a cystic kind of lump that just won't kind of go, and nothing will come from it, and it doesn't ever come up to anything, and it's just like, it's just there, and it's like, they're really not very often, but yeah.
Is it in with your cycle at all, do you know?
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit, probably either just before or during or around that time, yeah.
Yeah, so it could be something to do with those estrogen
okay.
detox pathways,
Yeah.
or just in detox pathways in general, not quite working as adequately as they used to.
Yeah.
So like the dry brushing would be great,
Yeah.
the lemon water, but even potentially running the Dutch test and just seeing what your hormones are doing.
I think up to 4 years, it's probably worth doing. I think like that's probably for me like
It's amazing. Yeah.
I just think that I'd probably be all over the place and just all out of whack. I just don't think that I've breastfed all my kids like at least for 2 years, and I've had 4 and just like so little sleep. I'm sure that my liver and the stress and everything would just be.
Yeah, but it just really gives us the information that we need. So I can get just really specific with the treatment plan rather than kind of guessing. Like I would have no idea from people's symptoms if they're phase 1 or phase 2 detox. Capacities weren't working well.
And it's in like normal medicine, like we're so if we did your blood test, we would just do just testosterone, just progesterone, and estrogen.
Yeah, estrogen.
Yeah.
That's estrogen. Did you do it?
Yeah, I think it might be 2. Yeah. So we just do 1 estrogen, the progesterone and testosterone, and like nothing else. And yet, most people don't even know there's actually 3 estrogens that exist, and actually the balance between these 3 estrogens is not only really important for your health in regards to how you feel, but in regards to your health, in regards to risk of breast cancer and other illnesses. And then these 3 are all broken down into metabolites, and actually the metabolites can be dangerous as well. There's one pathway is really leads to a metabolite that's good for you, and then the other metabolites can actually, again, be really dangerous for you. It's like, again, increased breast cancer.
That's the
Yeah, so again, sometimes when you look at them as well, people might not necessarily be symptomatic from it, but when we see the breakdown, we're like, oh my God, it's really pushing you. You might have really high of the bad estrogen, really low of the good estrogen, and then really high of the bad metabolite. And so your future risks of health concerns that estrogen are involved in are really bad. And the testosterone as well, like we know the testosterone is broken down again into different things that have issues. So when testosterone is broken down to one of the then that can increase, like you were saying with this person, like acne, facial hair, has massive impact. All the male things, so hair in the wrong places, hair in like bearded areas, and hormonal acne. So it tells us a lot just anyway. And then also as part of the cycle, it's the cortisones in the same cycle. So sometimes over like here, if there's a problem with cortisol, your body needs more cortisol, it will produce the cortisol for stress, and then like none of this will even happen.
Yeah.
And then you're messed up as well.
Yeah.
I found the description of the people's cortisol where it was like, getting low. And I was like, that's smart. Like, in the morning, I'm just like, you're dragging yourself to bed, and then you're okay a little bit during the day, and then crashing in the afternoon, and then I'm like, at night time, 10 o'clock, I'm still like,
And that's where you really have to try to change that by winding down at night and getting into parasympathetic nervous system mode rather than running on sympathetic and running around, even though you probably feel like doing all this stuff, you've almost got to stop yourself and have a bath or a shower, read a book, and really relax. And then in the morning, the best way to stimulate melatonin production is to get outside as soon as you can, or open your blinds up so you get sunlight that pierces through your retina that stimulates melatonin production for later on that night, and that will help the cortisol pattern as well. The melatonin and cortisol work antagonistically.
Do you recommend the glasses?
I can literally
Yeah, so at night,
No, the green light glasses for the morning, rather than going outside to wear green light.
I don't know about them, but the blue blocking glasses, like if you're watching Netflix or you have to be on your screen at night and wearing blue blocking glasses, because the screens will stimulate cortisol production at night. We don't want cortisol to be high at night, we want it to be low.
We're starting to have magnesium masks, which I have with my kids because I just have it on my own. Like, it's fun. But it's good for them as well, so that's really good. But I do find that really seems to help me kind of wind down that time. Yeah, that's good.
And then just avoiding screens an hour before bed as well is really
Does anyone have any other questions at all?
No, I just like sign me up. I want to do it definitely. Yeah. I've had I had polycystic when I was like about 10 years ago. And then and I was told that I wouldn't be able to have kids because I saw like a fertility specialist and everything. And I did the whole diet, no meat because of hormones, no dairy, no gluten, everything. And I believe that I sort of cured it and all the symptoms went away. And I fell pregnant with both of my boys like the first bang. But yeah, it kind of all went away, and now that like having a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old and just grabbing muesli bars on the go and stress and whatever, it's like all of those things have just come back.
the most important thing with PCOS is blood sugar regulation. You really have to have that dialed in.
Yeah, and I don't eat it, and then I'll grab something quickly at 4 o'clock in the hour.
Yeah, so protein and or fat with every meal and regular meals.
Yeah.
Because otherwise your blood sugar is going to drop, your cortisol is going to spike.
Yeah.
Or you're going to reach for something sugary and your blood sugar is going to elevate and your insulin is going to elevate and it just exacerbates PCOS.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely keen to look at everything.
Yeah.
Because I reckon, that's, I think it'd probably be pretty.
So interesting.
Yeah, and Melm outside on that side, that I found interesting is insulin in the medical books is like says that it does have an influence on PCOS, and yet it is never measured. And one example is I worked somewhere before here and I did someone's insulin to look at something like that, and the results came back, and I wasn't in that day, and the lady came in to see, went and just saw another doctor instead, and he looked at them and he was like, what's she doing insulin for? I don't understand any of the blood tests. And he just looked at her and he's like, oh, I don't know, she's doing her witchcraft. Witchcraft. Like, just booked back in with her the next day. And like, then she came and saw me and she's like, why are you doing what are you doing? Like, I was a bit,
Yeah.
She was like, I'm actually doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And he's actually being, but it was all the stuff I was doing was, just seen as being
I wasn't.
So even just the normal stuff, like normal doctors think it's
Alison with her MTHFR gene, and you had issues with underabsorption of iron, and she was like, you go get your eye tested, and I get an eye test, and like, oh, it looks a little bit low, just take an eye tablet. But like, there's nothing more than that, even though you're like, Alison was telling me that there was more that they could be looking at, and you know, what was actually going on. But yeah, it's always just kind of like, that looks okay. This with a whole it's been like, because I changed so I've been on like pre-pregnancy. I don't know when I had the test, but I felt so much better being on the methylated folate. I've actually felt sick when I was on the folic acid, and then but you know they do a test and they're like, oh no, it's really high in your blood. Yes, it's all in my blood. Yes, but I didn't know that. Because I'm wondering what's in your blood. And then I literally felt like someone had like light bulb I felt so much better. And I haven't stopped taking it since.
Did you know your first pregnancy?
So it was I think I'd started taking it nearly a year before. Because you had because it took a long time. So you had to get ready for it.
It's funny. I think what I've worked out and come to terms with is that medicine is actually curing a disease when you've got the disease. So you kind of wait until you've actually got a cancer, or you wait until you've got heart disease, and you actually wait until you're diabetic, and then medicine helps you not die of that by giving you medication. But actually, medicine doesn't do anything before that. And if you look at it, even over all the decades, that's never been part of medicine. Medicine's always been like, you're sick and you will come in and like fix it. But I suppose over time we're all starting to realise that we're in the stage that you can actually stop the illness in the beginning. And medicine's been just a bit disappointingly slow to catch up and take anything with that on. So again, still you'll come in like you're fit and well, but then you're sick. But in between that, you've got symptoms, and that's our chance to actually do something about it. But in that grey area, doctors just like, and then you're here and they're like, oh, you're really sick.
Yeah.
When you feel like medication,
you're feeling tired, you're feeling all these things, and you're going to the doctor, and they're just like, well, you know, you've got kids, or maybe take some money. It is kind of like, well, you don't, I don't know what to ask for. In terms of,
and it's the wrong place. So before that, like upset me, and I thought they're doing the wrong thing. But I've just come to terms with like it's the wrong place. So they're there when you. I think they've got to reclassify. Either medicine's got to pick its game up and start doing stuff, or you kind of reclassify. So you come to me when you're actually sick, but beforehand with the symptoms, if you do. So like you guys are integrated practitioners to deal with those symptoms and then do more prevention. But their prevention is like eat medicine. I'm going to prevent you from getting sick. Like eat a Mediterranean diet, do some exercise. That's it, and lose weight. That's like the prevention of every illness.
Or even like I was just offered Clomid, and I was like, it was never even mentioned to me that it was something to do with diet. And so it can be a bad thing, but Google, like I just did so much research myself, and it fixed it. My cysts, my ovaries were just covered in cysts, and then when another time a doctor was like, oh no, you don't have any, like you don't have polycystic because I fixed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't told that. So yeah.
Yeah, they don't know though.
No,
You're
no,
not trained
no,
in nutrition, are you?
Yeah.
Hardly anything, and they're still not. But it's not even just nutrition, it's the whole, like that whole slide, like, you know, the environment, even like the cell function, even bizarrely we learn like physiology, but we never implement physiology in our diagnosis and communication and consultation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think as things are done, like then they're brought in, but it's gonna take 100 years for everything.
Yeah. But that's why
And
there's
the
this
thing-
movement of functional medicine that's
Yeah.
pretty big in the US now.
Yeah.
That's coming through.
Yeah.
People realizing they're not getting better, or if they're chronically sick, or
Yeah,
trying to prevent getting sick.
yeah.
It's when they're having to pay so much of healthcare, I guess they're wanting to prevent having to use it. And
The thing is as well, I think some people look at, say, things outside medicine and think you are doing like your witchcraft or you're not. You're just making stuff up and you're doing, like, I know things do exist and they do probably work for some people as well. You just, you know, press your arm and you feel the energies and stuff. But a lot of this is the actual test, and the labs that do this are the same labs that we send our blood tests to. You know, if I take a sample here for someone, whatever, and send it to the lab, this lab does exactly the same testing. And so it's not that you're making stuff up, like you get back there and you get back there.
Yeah. But that's why I do the testing as well, because I need the data as well. I need the data to really understand what is going on with physiology. I'm not going to go just on symptoms because that I can understand how people can think that isn't it. What's not science? Maybe it's science-based.
I had a friend who sort of was having really severe symptoms, and his baby was just sick all the time, and she was certain something was wrong, and she went to a doctor, and he was like suggesting that she had Munchausen. It's like, you know, your baby seems fine, it seems healthy, you're making things up. And then she ended up seeing somebody in Hobart who was quite integrated health, and ended up sending him to have some testing done, and they felt that he was reacting to gluten. And so they cut that out, and he was really quite well for quite a long time. And then I think at 6, he was able to actually to have the full test to see if he was celiac, and he had celiac. And you know, and she was like, I would have gone wave that.
So you're not knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
the baby that came in that was not growing at all. She was going backwards. And she'd been to couple of pediatricians, and we did the gut test on her, and a few things popped up and took her off gluten. And I bumped into her the other day, and she's chubby. She's like a chubby little girl now.
Yeah, and because I hadn't seen her before, and I was like,
Yeah.
but then I was talking to her, and massive. I've got a lady I'm seeing here at the moment. She's actually another naturopath referred her to me because they weren't really getting anywhere, and has got like a really bad scalp condition. Really upset about it, like it's ruining her life. Mid-20-year-old girl, again, been to loads of doctors. I think like 4 dermatologists. She's just over it. Was even a bit annoyed that she was coming in to see me, when you went over, she was pretty asymptomatic in any other region, and we just did the stool. I just did all Medicare. I was like, well, I'll do some Medicare stuff, and then did the stool testing and some like the celiac gene. She came back with NTHFR positive, celiac gene positive. Her iron was, or like ferritin was really low. Like she had really low like nutrients and everything. And she hasn't had a period for 18 months either. And I was almost like, just like number one, just get off all your like gluten or you get onto like an anti-inflammatory diet. And I really wanted her to do the Dutch test and like a CBSA test, a screening test. But she's under another naturopath at the moment, so I kind of gave her a list of what to ask the other one to do, and then said, okay, ring me afterwards and come back.
What did the regular doctor say about not getting a period for so long?
Nothing. Nothing.
That's what.
No, well, that's what I said. Nothing. So she hadn't had a period for 18 months. They did her bloods and they said they were normal, and they did an ultrasound and said it was normal, and just said, just wait.
And then wait for it to come back.
Yeah. So she's like, she's good enough. So then the next option, said they could refer her to a gynecologist, and I said the gynecologist will put you on the pill, and then say, if you want to get pregnant, come and see me, and I'll, put you on Clomid. So if I don't go and see, and look, it might even be take off gluten and almost come back, and then everything goes back to normal. Yeah. It could be that simple. And she's had funny things, like when you actually went over her history, she's had this funny rash that come up on her leg and was there for a year, and it just went, and then another funny skin thing that come up. She's had weird history, and I always find that.
I always think old. Yeah. When I hear weird things like big pains and
in the environment, or
in her environment, she's been exposed to it at some point.
It's consistent. Because I asked her about moving houses and stuff as well, because because of the issue. But she'd actually moved a few times. She hadn't been in the same house all the time, because that's one of the
If she's 25% of the population have that gene where they can't detoxify mold out of their system. So if they've been exposed to it at some point, then they get SIRS, that chronic inflammatory response. So it just keeps it circulating around until they detox. It's fine.
It's like awful house. We lived on an island for 3 years, and then we were quite young, and the mold was just terrible. My son was gets that asthma, and he's really funny. He gets eczema, and oh no, it's a mold. All I was looking at him and thinking, maybe he needs to be, because he, out of all of my kids, my other 3 kids are all, they've got ones in there, eczema a little bit, and they were babies, just that small amount, which again, you just get told it's normal, but he has had it persistently, and he's always, you've seen him probably, always has his shirt up, and he's always just got and it's never severe, it's just bumpy, and if you rub his skin, you can sort of just feel that bumpiness, and sometimes he'll get tiny little scabs where he's obviously scratched away. We use moo-moo cream, and we try and cut out maybe a little bit of dairy, because we try and cut it out completely, and it seems to help. But he's hard to get to stop it completely. I'm curious to see what's behind him, because he's and he doesn't gain weight easily. It's always been really, really little and light, and
that's again. Gut.
And then just gluten-free and dairy-free, and see if he improves on that.
I think we might try.
I've got a kid locally who was just getting little patches of eczema, and again it didn't interfere with quality of life at all. The parents just didn't look at it, and doctors were just saying put cortisol cream on. 4-year-old, I'm like, what are you doing? And again, I normally start basic with Medicare and work up, but with those basics, we just had a parasite, and then it did show a few nutrient things, but we just cleared the parasite, everything, totally different child. And then interesting, the kid is now 6, and they called a couple of weeks ago and said that the egg was back, and we tested still parasite again. So again, we're hoping that we clear that and the skin. Or the doctors pick up the parasites, and in normal medicine, it's normal, and just no, you leave it. It's not treated. You don't even treat it. Or you don't even treat it. Just and the comments say this only needs treating if they have chronic diarrhea, they're dying from it basically. Otherwise, it can be normal. Just leave it.
It's surprising how many people have parasites.
I was. Most people like that.
I'm like, you just hear that, you're like,
Actually, I really wish it was just a big worm you could grab it. That would make it easier to treat, wouldn't it? Because then
usually with
they are the
parasites,
biggest
is it the pinworms? Is that what you mean?
no, more things they've got more. There's lots of different ones to do. So it's like bacteria. So lots of different ones. You don't necessarily see it. It's microscopic. That's okay.
And there are no water supplies too.
We always have been really good. Parents have always been on time for us, so always supported.
I think the difficult thing is that whether you find this as well is where you kind of start the beginning, often I find skin, that first thing is a bit of a like fishing game at the beginning and kind of say we'll go by symptoms and direct things at the start, but sometimes it can be a bit of fishing and often something crops up that you weren't quite expecting or it can be straightforward. But often in like medicine I find it's quite clear cut. You've got A, B and C, we do X, Y, Z. Whereas this is a bit, you kind of do start with that big chart that numbed up at the beginning and it's trying to work out which ones, like chicken and egg scenarios, which sometimes, for example, the bowel can be, or the hormones can be imbalanced or you have a food intolerance, but actually the reason behind that is the gut's the issue. So if you clean the gut up, they will go back to normal. So it can be a bit of a fishing game sometimes.
And then some of those tests are expensive as well. So
Like
people who did 3 or 4 different tests.
But then it's worth it, like I often say to people, like you've been having this problem for 5 years, and you've seen how many doctors have you seen, and you're searching for an answer in your mind. That even though it is expensive, it can potentially change your life. It's quite simply, it's not then by going on a drug forever, it might just be changing your diet. And,
I had a great case the other day actually, a lady about 42 and she had severe thinning all over her hair, and you could see it wasn't patches, it wasn't alopecia. She'd been trying to figure it out for about 7 years, so you could clearly see that she had hardly any hair left. So we ran the Dutch on her, and I thought she was going to be going down this pathway, but she wasn't. This one here, which is like a toxic estrogen, was over here off the scale, and then her glutathione was really, really low, and she had high oxidative stress. So we just put her on like some broccoli sprouts and DIM and some other supplements to guide that pathway back over, and gave her glutathione, and she had her hair growing in 2 months.
She would be over the moon.
Any other? Thank you.
Once the baby's out, I think I'd like to do, just to see when things settle down.
I think every woman in their 30s, 40s should do this instead of having it all as well as having a mammogram.
And Mel as well, these tests, this isn't just for skin issues, like we've concentrated on skin issues tonight. And Mel does like a lot of other things as well, which I often do as well, just because I see a lot of women in the clinic. But all these things is in like everything, like tiredness, fertility, skin issues, like hair things, like it's so many other
thyroid, any hormone related issue.
So even if you come in with a skin issue, we're looking at this, treat anything else for this extra.